Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Live Life Golden Show. This is episode 21. Stop procrastinating and activate your self discipline. We are going to get it today. We're going to go in, we're going to look at what procrastination is, how you may be being derailed by procrastination, and how to step into self-discipline in a way that activates so much action and worthiness in your life that you take your life to the next level. That's what it's all about. All right, so procrastination, when we're looking at procrastination and what may cause procrastination, we first have to recognize what it is. Procrastination from a quantum physics standpoint is really just disalignment of energy. You are not in energetic alignment with what you are looking to create. So you're not feeling a lot of life force. You're not feeling a lot of passion towards what you are looking to create because you're in a lower, slower, dense energy. Procrastination a lot of times can be hinged upon what the mind tells you. So if you don't have a mind training practice, this is what it's doing to you. This is what it's going to cause is a lot of procrastination in your life. Many things that get in the way of us creating what we are really wanting to create has to do with procrastination. It has to do with the things that we are pushing off every single day that we know will lead us to what we want to create. We don't understand why we're in this energetic field. We don't know how to change it. And because of that, year after year, day after day, you may be sitting in the same energy asking yourself, when is this going to change? Well, it can change today. It can change with this information. It can change with the activation that I'm going to provide for you to step into a new energy, to step into a new way of looking at this stuff so that you can understand where you've been, so you can understand why you've been in this heavy, low, dense energy and how to get out of it. I'm going to give you the tools of how to get out of it. So first of all, procrastination is allowing your mind to drive. So when we ask ourselves, do we really want to do stuff? Oftentimes the mind will say no. And the reason for that, remember, is the mechanism of the mind is to keep you safe and to keep you the same. So you're never really going to feel like doing anything. You're just going to want to relax. You're going to want to just lay around. Especially this year, there's been a kickback in the energy field. There's been, many reasons to just stay home and to not be a creator. This has been one of the most creative years I think I have ever had. And I've had so much passion and creation power coming through me that I'm starting to really understand energy at a different level so that I can deal with, these moments of procrastination in my own life and help you guys to derail it. So not being aligned with energy means you are in an identity pattern. You're in an identity addiction that causes you to stay the same. So you're not connecting to your intuition. You're not connecting to that very strong energy field that helps you to produce, that helps you to be who you want to be. A few years ago, about 2 years ago, now just so you guys know, and many of you do know this, I've been a stay-at-home mom for uh, tomorrow it'll be 29 years. My oldest turns 29 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Jade. Crazy. So for a very long time, they were my career. They were, I took care of my house. I took care of my kids. I took care of my husband. And that was my vocation. That's what I did. I did a lot of things like volunteering. I was very active in my church. It's actually where I found my voice. I started doing meditations, started doing guided meditations, started coming through me. So there was a lot of things that helped me to feel fulfilled in those times. But coming out of that and then having, 2 kids who were teenagers and in high school and all the things that go along with that, I started to look for things that I could do. I started this speaking career back in Connecticut quite a few years ago. I was networking all the time. We were part of network marketing. So I had, that as fulfillment. And then coming to California, I kind of got off of the speaking stuff, except for when I had my book. That's the only time I've really spoke here. And, through being able to do stuff online now, I'm realizing that I have a forum to speak. I have people that are listening to me. my creation powers have been explosive. But 2 years ago, I was kind of sitting here and I was asking myself, like, what do I want to do? And what I've always wanted to do is to be an effect, to create a difference, to share this information that has so profoundly affected my life, that has helped me to follow my dreams, to create a life of joy, to be able to share that with people in a way that they could utilize it, that they could make a difference in their life, was something that has been calling me for a long time. So I had to ask myself, what would I do? Who would I be if I was actually living that? And I looked to people like Wayne Dyer and, Louise Hay and all of the our leaders in this spiritual development fields. And I looked to them and I asked myself, like, what are they doing that I haven't done? Number one was write a book, like sit down and write a book. So I had to ask myself, what does that person do? That writer of a book, what do? They sit down and they write every day, right? Duh. Seems like common sense, but this is how we keep ourselves from the identity of what we want to create. So then I asked myself last year, if I want to be a speaker, if I want to have a voice, if I want to share all of this information that is just bubbling up and out and through me, how do I do that? I was doing coaching. I was not loving coaching. I really didn't want to be on the phone all the time. I didn't want to be carrying people's stuff all the time. I needed to find a way that was different, that would allow me to speak from a place of fulfillment where I would feel fulfilled when I was doing it. And the podcast came, right? Like that was the answer to a lot. Like it was just do it, right? Like those words are so freaking profound. Just do it. And I have gotten so much love and so much support through this podcast. And I just want to thank you all who message me and tell me to keep going, because it really helps. It does. Because otherwise I'm in a room sitting here talking to myself, right? So I had to ask myself, what is the difference between me and these other people? And it was like, they're doing it. They're getting out there. They're creating. They're living their passions. They're living their joy. And then I started it. And now it feels really good. I really feel like I'm in a flow of serious creative power. And every day I just have new ideas that are coming, and it feels fantastic. So the difference between someone who is in an old identity, who just keeps telling themselves that they want to do something, that they know that they're, worth more than what they've been providing for people, that they've been producing, the difference between that person and the person who sits before you today is I just did it. I just started doing the things that I said I wanted to do. I started living the life of the person who is doing this, who feels really good, who is creating, who is making a difference, who's creating an effect. So when it comes to procrastination, there's a slower energy field. A really great book that I read was Stephen Pressfield, The War of Art. I read that right before I wrote my book. And it was all about the mind, and how the mind kicks up reasons why we don't want to do stuff. And the mind gives us reasons why we can't create. And it just creates this war zone where we're trying to overcome something that has power and control over us. So the first thing we have to do is gain control over our mind. And we have to get hip to the mind's ability to try to derail us. And we have to overcome it. Once you overcome the mind and you get into your passion and you get into your creative energies, within 5-10 minutes, you're going to have flow. You're going to have flow. You're going to be lost in your project. It's amazing how that happens. Allowing your unhealed wounds to drive is a big part of your procrastination. So there's these voices underneath that tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not worthy, that you don't have the confidence, that you don't have the information, that you don't have the wisdom, and it's all a bunch of bullshit. Yesterday, I actually had a very low energy day. I've been doing some really intense workouts because I'm in the end of my body fat competition. And so yesterday was like, my energy was so low. So I just let myself be. I did some things in the morning, and then the afternoon was pretty much like silly TV and just relaxing. I didn't eat junk food. I didn't drink alcohol. I just I just let myself be, like I let myself rest. And when I sometimes get into those low frequencies where I'm just like kind of laying around, right? You're kind of like a victim to your mind because your mind starts kicking up. And I started getting some self-doubt stuff. I'm getting ready to launch a second program. So there was like, is anybody going to be interested coming up? And all of this stuff starts flooding my experience. And are you good enough? And all of that stuff. So I got through the day yesterday and, I kept bouncing back into appreciation, how appreciative I am that I get to relax and I get to just be. And my husband's amazing, like doesn't make me do stuff when I feel this way. He just lets me, relax and do what I need to do. Went to bed super early, got up, went to the gym. And after the gym, I was feeling pretty good, but I wanted to deal. I wanted to deal. Like I knew something was coming up that needed to be healed. So I did some energy clearing this morning and yeah, some stuff came up like unworthiness and not being good enough and some like childhood friendships and some stuff that I realized with my husband from a long time ago. Like all of that stuff started to come up, those layers. And I was able to release them and step into a new place of my power. And since I did that, I got some feedback that things are going to flow and things are going to go well and there's nothing to worry about. So when you're procrastinating, many times it can be these fears underneath. It can be these wounds underneath that are asking to be healed first. We're going to get into fears. We're going to get into the different fears that cause procrastination. Another way that procrastination can get you is when you tell yourself you can't. So you keep yourself in bondage. So for whatever reason, you tell yourself you can't. I can't right now because my kids are little, or I can't right now because I don't have the freedom. I can't right now because I have a full-time job. I can't right now because I don't have the resources. Whatever it is, when you put out that word can't, it's the same thing as try. Those two words kind of drive me crazy. It's an invitation for failure, and it's an invitation to block energy flow. So it keeps the energy from flowing. It blocks you from your success. It blocks you from any kind of orchestration of the universe to provide you with what you're desiring. So drop the words can't, drop the words try, and let's start deciding. Okay. So procrastination can often also be past experiences. So these are times in the past where you have tried something and it didn't work, or past experiences where you're doing things and you screw them up. God forbid we should screw anything up, right? Or we make mistakes. This is actually the second time I'm recording this podcast because the first time my microphone was not on. An hour-long podcast of no voice. And then I did a 10-minute video on my group page and they're all like, hey, we can't hear you. So I'm thankful for that because I would have produced my podcast with no sound if I didn't realize that. So thank you, universe, for letting me know that this did not work. And it was a rehearsal that I needed to do over again. And I'm sure this time it'll be better, but we'll never know because the other one's lost. So it's all good. Like I don't sit here and beat myself up and I don't sit here and say, why the hell does this keep happening? Because there's things that happen with this podcast sometimes and I have to re-record. It's just like, oh, well, here we go. I actually put a piece of tape over my on button on my microphone. So that's solution mode, right? No idea how that puppy got turned off. It must have been from moving it around. I never turned my microphone off. So, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how it happened. It just matters that I'm ready to do it again, that I'm excited to do it again, and that I have information to share. That's all that matters, right? I'm not going to beat myself up because that's an old pattern for me to beat myself up and say, you're not good enough. I guess my energy clearing worked this morning. I love it. So don't let your past experiences activate in your present day thing because your present day life, because it's all fresh. We're all fresh. Unless we carry that shit with us, it's all fresh. We can start from right here, right now. That's what quantum physics says. Zero state awareness is where everything is created from. Meditate, clear your slate, step into a new place, and work from your power. All right, so we're going to get into fears right now, and the fears that create procrastination, the fears that may keep you from your success. They may keep you from moving forward in your life's desires, in creating the life you say you want. All right, so we've got fear of being seen. This is a big one for a lot of people. It was a big one for me. It was one that I didn't even know I had until I started doing some online stuff. Fear of being seen. I think the root cause of the fear of being seen is the fear of looking stupid, right? It's like the fear of not being um, not saying what people need to hear, or not saying things right, or jumbling your words, or saying ums or ahs or whatever. The fear of being seen, of being authentic, about being real, really you, about being true to who you are and sharing your gifts and talents with other people. Some say that the fear of being seen too could be connected to a past life. That's what the energy healer that I worked with had told me about. I don't get into too much of past life stuff. I did for like a minute, and I just decided that I have enough shit to deal with in this life. But past life stuff, if you're called to it, it can give you information for sure. It can tell you certain things. Like if you have unreasonable fears, it's possible that you were killed that way in another life. Or one thing that my husband and I found out was that we actually used to live in California a long time ago, that we were banditos and we used to like steal gold from people. So we actually have this cave near our house called Dripping Cave. So we'll stand in there, and it's like where robbers used to go and like camp, and we'll like look around and see if it feels familiar. Kind of funny that we ended up back in California, but whatever. I don't let it like activate too much in my current life experience because, like I said, we have enough to deal with. So the fear of being seen is a big one. And the only way that I know to get over the fear of being seen is, work on your energy release work, but also get out there and do it. Like I just had to get out there and do it. I had to take the chance of looking dumb. I had to not care anymore. I had to not care about the judgment, and just felt so passionate about my message that I just let it rip. Fear of failure is a huge one. And the funny thing about failure that I came to realize when we moved to California, we were having all these financial problems, and we were adjusting, we were acclimating, and we were working on the up level back into abundance after, just restructuring and trying to figure out how we were going to survive here. It was this moment that we looked at each other and we were like, we've come too far to fail, and there's no way you can fail unless you give up. And we were never going to give up. We were never going to go back. There was too much at stake. Like our joy was at stake. There was no way we were going back. So when you don't have the fear of failure, because you realize that there really is no failure. I mean, even if you do things and they don't work out, you always get information. You always gain information. You always progress spiritually, personally, develop. So to me, there's like no such thing as failure. It doesn't matter because it's information. It always gives you information to move forward and to become more. Fear of success, got this one. Maybe you don't know you have this one. So fear of success, I was realizing this during a call the other day with one of my group coaching clients, is that the fear of success is being called to new things, right? So if we're like successful and we're doing well, we're going to be called to more things. We're going to have to do more things. When I first started the group coaching thing, along with this podcast, I was in a state of overwhelmment, for sure, overwhelmment. And because the energy was moving so fast and I had so much to do, I had to reacclimate. I had to up level into this ease and flow. It's definitely getting better. I'm definitely getting more of a handle on it, but there's an up level in my identity that had to happen. There were some things that had to go, honestly, out of my life that, I just can't keep up with anymore because this other thing has taken over. Like we're not these martyrs. We're not supposed to like do everything all the time. Sometimes we got to let go of other things to step into our passions and create. So to step into a new identity means we got to let go of the old identity, right? So if you're identifying with things like, I'm depressed, I'm a procrastinator, this is just who I am. If you're identifying with those things, this is my depression, this is my identity. My depression keeps me safe. My depression keeps me in bed. My depression keeps me from having to do anything. If you're in that element, I'm going to do some energy release work today to help you with that, because it's not serving you. God, it's just no way to live, because you've still got this mind who's beating you up in this self-critical nature that's not allowing your passions to fly, not allowing you to be in this high frequency of joy and love and creating, which is so much more fun than being in those lower, denser frequencies. All right. Fear of change. Who isn't afraid of some change? Right? Like, am I even going to be able to handle the change? Am I even going to have all the information I need for the change? Am I going to be able to be that person who can create so much change and be okay with it? Fear of change is a real thing. So you got to push through. You got to walk through that fear of change and recognize that the changes that you make are going to be so amazing and help you to really be in the identity of what you're looking to create. You may lose some friends. Like, this may be a fear too, like losing friends or judgment of family. Like, there's a lot of that stuff that keeps us stuck because we've got this belief system that our friends, if we step too far out of our comfort zone, if we become someone else, if we create success, if we get wealthy, good Lord, we'll lose our friends. And the truth is, if your friends were truly your friends and they were willing to walk with you through this higher frequency living, you would all rise together, and that's a beautiful thing to do. And if they're not there with you and they're jealous and they're judgmental, then sometimes they got to be let go of. Sorry to say. Okay, so one of the other things that I just want to speak to, and this is without judgment. This is without casting something on you that you don't want to hear. If you are in any kind of substance relationship, which means alcohol, drugs, whatever, if you are taking substances into your body, I want you to understand that you are in a lower frequency state, that you are allowing yourself to be reliant on some outside source that is creating a feeling of powerlessness within you. It creates apathy. It creates lower vibrational belief systems. Anytime I have had a night of drinking, I will wake up and my thoughts are lower. I have paid attention to this over and over again. It has helped me to change my relationship with alcohol, which I, have had years of working on my relationship with alcohol. Still haven't totally given it up. I take really long breaks from it because I really want to keep my vibe high. Letting it go completely doesn't feel great to me. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that. The truth is we have a society that's kind of infused in it. So, it's not necessary for me to take it out because I have cleaned up my relationship with it. What I will tell you is if you take a long, solid break from these things, you will get into a higher frequency. If you let go of the vice and the control this thing has over you, the habit that this has over you, if you can let it go, what you're going to do is you're going to allow new energy to come. You're going to allow yourself to be in a higher frequency. When you allow yourself to be in a higher frequency and you create more awareness around this, you're going to see what it's doing to your life. You're going to see if it has drastic, energy in your life that's causing you not to live in your higher power, in your higher frequency. Another thing that I like to discover about, letting go of substances. I have not done drugs in a very, very long time. That was something I definitely did in high school. But I always wanted to know what life would be like without it. I like to know those things. I like to know, what kind of frequency can I get in without this? What kind of energy can I be in without this thing in my life? I love to know that, because if you don't let it go, you'll never know. You'll never know if it's casting a shadow over your life. And these substances do. They cast a shadow. They cast they cause you to be connected to something that puts you in a state of powerlessness. So I would highly, highly recommend that if you're in that and you want to be in your creation power, just let it go for a little while, 30, 60, 90 days. Give yourself a good chunk of time to step back into health, to step back into a place where you're not addicted to a substance. Okay, so self-discipline. What is it? How do we get it? How do we become more disciplined? I don't even really like the word discipline, but I'm going to give you the definition because I thought this was super interesting. I looked up what self-discipline is, and the definition is, this is so cool, the ability to control one's feelings, and overcome one's weaknesses, the ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. I'm going to read that one more time. And I want you, when I read this the next time, I want you to think about the mind's role in self-discipline. The ability to control one's feelings and to overcome one's weaknesses. The ability to pursue what one thinks is right despite temptations to abandon it. How cool is that? It's all about the mind, right? The weaknesses, the mind, talking yourself out of things. It's overcoming those feelings that say, I don't feel like doing it. It's energetically aligning with what you say you want to do. And it's having that determination to become what you say you want to become. How cool is that? To do what you think is right despite your temptation to abandon it. Guess what your temptations are? It's the mind. It's that monkey mind. It's that chatter that tells you to stay safe and stay the same. Amazing. So why do we need self-discipline? The biggest thing that I see with self-discipline that we really need is it helps us to let go of this pain of regret, right? Like I'm not doing what I should be doing, right? Like that beating yourself up, that self-critical voice that's telling you you're not living your power. You're not living the life you want to live. That is misery. That voice, that pain of regret is complete misery. So when I was in network marketing a few years ago, many years ago, there was this one particular circumstance that shifted self-discipline for me, like big time, and moving through fear. This was big time about moving through fear. So we were moving fast and we were powerful creators, and we had decided and made a very determined statement, especially because of our financial situation, that we were going to kill it. Like we were going to do this, we were going to do what it took. So that meant talking to strangers. That meant doing things way out of my comfort zone. So I decided one day, I was at a car dealership, I was getting my oil changed or something, that there was this car salesman that was really funny that I had connected with, and I decided I was going to talk to him about my business, about this network marketing thing that was very much in alignment with car salesmen, because it was all about appreciation and sending cards, and it would be great for him and his business. So I sat there and I had to make a decision. Like, am I going to get out of my comfort zone and say something to him, or am I going to sit here and regret it? Am I going to go home and be bummed out that I didn't do it? Or am I just going to do it? Well, I just did it. Nothing big came of it, but what came of it really was a shift in my mindset, in deciding that doing things felt so much better. Pushing through that comfort zone felt so much better than the pain and regret of not doing it. So the misery that you feel, that self-critical nature that tells you should be doing something, it goes away. And when it goes away, guess what's on the other side? Passion, fulfillment, joy, doing what you say you're going to do, confidence, worthiness. It's all on the other side of that pain, the regret, and that fear that you will walk through when you decide and get determined about being disciplined. So when it comes to discipline in your life and things that you say you want to do, you've got to get into the questions of identity creation. So who do I want to be? What do I want to do? We recently worked on some stuff in our group, and there was one of our members, one of my founding members, was having issues with exercise. Like, we're doing so good, we're many weeks into the program, and this is the final week of really getting into joy. Like, what is stopping you? What is disconnecting you from what you say you want to do and be? And for her, it was like, I hate exercise. Like, I just hate it. So we moved into what she does love, which is movement, dance. She at one point had been part of a dance thing that she loved. So we had her write that down. We had her decide, what do you want to do? So she started calling it movement and not exercise. And now she's doing it. She's doing it. She's not questioning it. She's not beating herself up about it. She's not hating it. She's in movement. And I will tell you that if you don't have some sort of movement in your life, you gotta get it, because this is why your muscles are atrophying. You are not going to live in your highest frequency if you are not moving your body, if you are not allowing yourself to be flexible, to take part in those awesome downloads of chemicals that go along with moving your body, sweating, allowing that energy to move through you. You have to get an exercise practice if you really want to live in your power. This is what I believe. This is what I find truthful. This is what feels really good to me. And it's what I've seen, could be because I believe it, but it's what I've seen over the course of like witnessing other people getting old. Like my dear sweet Graham, she never exercised a day in her life. Her balance went. She couldn't walk very fast. Her muscles atrophied. Her back hurt all the time. These are the things that are going to happen when you're in lethargy, when you're not allowing your body to move. Find a way to move it. Whether it's dance, whether it's walking. Walking is like some of the best shit we can do. I don't know why I always forget this because it doesn't feel like enough, right? But walking, like if you just walked a couple miles a day, you would feel so much stronger. You would have so much more energy. When it comes to exercise, your mind is going to try to talk you out of it. There's no doubt about it. My exercise practice and my meditation practice are non-negotiable. We don't negotiate with those things. It's like brushing your teeth. Do you negotiate to brush your teeth? No, it's an automatic behavior. So if you make exercise an automatic behavior where you do something every day to move your body, I do take Sundays off, but I need the rest. You're going to feel so much better about yourself. You're going to be in a higher frequency of living because you are using. I always say if you don't use it, you're going to lose it. You want to use it so you don't lose it. Don't be one of these people that gets into older age and can't move their body. That's just aches and pains. If you don't move, if you're not flexible. My favorite thing right now is yoga with Adriene. I love it. It's on YouTube. It's amazing. I stretch every single day. I have to because my muscles seize up if I don't. So self-discipline is getting out of that pain of regret and doing what you say you want to do. Staying where you are is worse than walking through this fear. Everything you say you want is on the other side of that fear. And when you push through it and you just go and you don't listen to that mind that's trying to keep you safe and the same, you will experience massive amounts of joy, like joy that you don't even know about. I can't imagine how we would feel or what our life would look like if we didn't take that giant leap of faith and move across the country. Like we're so incredibly happy. We have such a wonderful life. Did we have to walk through boatloads of fear? Yes. Yes. But through that whole process, we became master manifestors. We understood how energy worked. We understood how powerful we were. And we wouldn't know that if we had stayed complacent and stayed the same. So we're creating from now. So we're going to let go of those old identities and create from now and become self-disciplined. We can become self-disciplined when we decide that we are self-disciplined. When we write down on a piece of paper what we want every day, and then we do what that identity does, right? Like, I think the easiest thing, like when I think about the scope of life, and this was a belief system I had to come out of, was that I was, slowing down and gaining weight as I got older. That was a huge belief system I moved away from this past year and a half, that it was hard to lose weight the older I got. The truth is there's a freaking science to it. It's called tracking your food and exercising every day. Like it seems simple, but people put all these problems in the way, and they get out of the solution and into the problem, and then they tell themselves they can't. And then that's what they experience. If you step into, I know what I have to do, and you do it, right? Self-discipline. I get up every day and I do this thing. I don't question it. Then you're going to actually create the identity of what you're asking to create. To me, exercise and eating right is really easy, right? I mean, is it easy? Simple. I'm going to say it's simple. Okay. But if you've got a lot of dense, heavy emotions in your life, you're going to have trouble. You got to do the energy work. You got to find yourself in this lighter, because if you use your food for emotions, like to push your emotions down, you're going to be attracted to heavy foods. I am not attracted to heavy foods. I'm really not. even like since I've been doing this plan, it's like even like a burger and fries feels like, oh, to me, it just feels way too heavy. So I'm not attracted to heavy foods. I'm not attracted to sweets. Like a strawberry right now, I really lowered my sugar intake. So a strawberry right now can take me straight to heaven. So when you clean up your diet, you get those like lower, denser, sugary, white floury foods out of your life. You're going to be in a higher vibration, and you're going to create differently. You're going to create a different body. You're going to create the body that you really want. And age has nothing to do with it, people. Trust me. I'm going to be 49 pretty soon. A couple weeks, I'm going to be 49. And I am in the best shape I've been in probably since my 20s. I might even be in better shape. I don't know. I definitely feel very strong and very muscular. So I don't remember when I was 20, we take all that shit for granted, right? For sure. All right. So things that you have allowed to control your life is one of the reasons why you're having issues with self-discipline. So these are bad habits. These are the things that you do day in and day out, and you tell yourself you shouldn't do them. You tell yourself, I shouldn't do this. Like if if it's 5 o'clock at night and every day at 5 o'clock at night, you have a glass of wine. That is a habit. That is a habit that is not going to fuel your up level into higher frequencies. So you have to distract yourself. At 5 o'clock at night, you have to do something different, whether it's go for a walk, whatever it is, read a book, get yourself out of your normal state of affairs and the normal, you're going to have cravings. There's no doubt about it. You have to derail them. The way to derail cravings is to put yourself off. So you say, not right now. Not right now. This is how I changed a lot of my relationship with alcohol. I have not been a daily drinker for a long time, but there definitely was a time that I was. So it's not right now. Not right now. Cravings only last about 5 minutes, believe it or not. And if you don't have it in the house, that really helps. So you distract yourself for a little while, you go for a walk, you do something different. Before you know it, enough time has passed that usually it's like bedtime and you've made it through. And I will tell you, the feeling of pride, the feeling of being proud of yourself for doing what you said you were going to do is so much better than the energy of disappointment. And I screwed up again, and I didn't do what I said I was going to do again. It's so much better. So get yourself to the end of that. So we're gonna talk about fear just for a few more minutes, just to go over the different types of fear, what fear actually is. So fear is false evidence appearing real. So if you can take yourself past the fear, write down what your fear is, deal with it, release it. Many times it's false. It's like a false belief system that's hinged in this fear. And doing some energy work to clear it will always help you to up level. So you got to deal with the fear. You can't push it down. If you push it down, you're vibrating and creating from it. Fear is your mind always working against you. So it's that mind trying to keep you safe and the same. So if you ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? And you play it out and you start really asking these questions, you're going to find the answers. You're going to allow yourself to be released from this fear. The best ways to release yourself from fear are meditating. Number one, people, clear that slate. Start from right now. Clear your slate, meditate, quiet the mind. I have a new, I have a teaching coming out. As soon as I do the sales page for it, I have a teaching coming out that's going to help you to become a master meditator, to grab those keys to the kingdom and to really create a solid meditation practice. Release the energies. Ask those energies to leave. If you've got powerlessness kicking up, I did it this morning. Look through those situations, look through those past experiences and release them as they come up. Ask yourself, when have I felt this powerlessness before? And let it release, let it keep going, let it go, because it's an old pattern, it's an old identity. Decide who you want to be. Who do you want to be? What do you say? What is your heart calling you to? Because your heart calling you to something is very important. There's a reason for it, and it's not going to go away. You can drink all you want, you can smoke all you want, you can pop all the pills you want. That is, every time you sober up, that's going to be there. That inclination, that call of your heart is going to be there. And the more clarity you can wrap around it, the more clarity you can get from asking these questions. What do I really want? What can I do to get there? What can I do to activate the energy? Those are the things that are going to help you to align with the energies. How do I align with the energies? How do I align with this identity? How do I become this identity that I say I want to be? What would I have to do? Oh, I got to work through some fear. Okay. All right. Let's go. You could sign up for Goldyn's group coaching because I'm locking arms with people and we're releasing boatloads of fear, boatloads of, unhealed energies, and we're stepping into a new place. I am launching on September 1st, 2020. We're going to be launching a new group. So I'm super pumped about that. You can connect with me, livelifegolden@gmail.com if you want to set up a transformation call. The transformation calls are incredibly transformative, and they will help us to see if the group coaching program is for you, but you will get something out of it. That's why I love the transformation calls. They're not about me trying to sell you a program. They're more about you getting a sample of my work to see what it's really like to work with me, and if it's a good fit, if we're a good fit for each other, because if you're listening to this, we probably are. And the last part about self-discipline is to do it. To stop all of the commentary and do it, to stop questioning it and to do it. Just go for it. Just do it is like one of my favorite sayings, because I realized, that pain of telling myself I want to do something is keeping me in misery. And when I just go and I do it and I work through the fear, I feel so much better. I'm such a better person. I have so much more to give, so much more to offer. And we all have gifts. We all have gifts and talents that really deserve to be offered, really deserve to be shared. So I believe that in you for sure. So every day you give in to your old story is another day of pain and misery, of living a life that is less than, of living a life that is less than you could be living when you step in and you just do what you say you want to do. Personal integrity is a big one with me. Like, if we can't keep promises to ourselves, who can we keep them to? If you said you were going to do something, the activation of keeping that promise to yourself is massive. It's a massive energetic alignment, and it will create so much for you when you have integrity to your own word, to your own being, to your own self, to your own heart. It's super important in the powerful creation process to have that self-integrity, to make these promises and to move forward in the activation of energy, because the universe is already there, like just waiting in the wings for the orchestration, waiting in the wings for you to go, hey, I'm ready to like raise your hand, to activate the energy, to move forward in a way that allows the orchestration of the universe to come together for you, that allows that activation of our non-physical support and guides to show us the way, to create those miracles, to set up those opportunities. It's such a fascinating way to live. It's like my favorite thing ever is to share this with people and then to watch them manifest stuff. It's fantastic. It's so cool. So I want to share a little story, a little manifestation story with you before I get into some energy release. I'm pretty sure I connected with everything I wanted to share with you for the second time. The first time was good too, but the second time is better because now you can hear me. So had a little thing with my hairdresser. Now I loved my hairdresser. I really did. And I've been with her, I don't know, maybe a year. So a couple things happened, and I love to watch energy in my life and to like recognize if there's an up level that needs to be taken or if there's something else that I need to do. So I've been going to her for a while and things have been fine. And twice now in a row, things happened. One time is I got sick. I had like some kind of bug. So I had to cancel my appointment and she had to squeeze me in, and she did a great job of squeezing me in. It was great. Fine. Got my hair done. And then this past time, Really strange. I missed my appointment. I had it written down for the wrong day and I missed the day. So she messages me back and she's like, I don't have any other appointments. Like, you're going to have to wait until next month. And I'm like, good Lord, I need my roots done. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I can only go a certain amount of time. I've got like marketing stuff I'm doing. I'm doing some commercials this month and like, I can't not have my hair done. So I started thinking about it. One other thing happened too is I almost got a parking ticket when I was there. I have to pay for parking there. So there was a couple of things, that I noticed. And I started thinking, maybe I need to find somebody else. No disservice to this person. She's fine. Just, I think I can up level here. I think I can take this to a new place. So I started thinking about it. And especially now it's like, I need an appointment. I got to do something about this. So I start like looking on Facebook, looking on Instagram. So I find this one guy and I started thinking like, well, maybe I want to see a guy. Like I've really never seen a guy and maybe I want to try that out. I want to see what the energy's like. So the first thing I did, which I'll tell you all to do, is I wrote it down. I wrote down exactly what I was looking for. And my list went something like this. I want somebody who's really good with blonde hair. I want somebody who can help me get that ashy blondie look that I'm looking for. I want someone who is in my price range. Like there's a certain price range that I like to spend on my hair. I want someone who's kind of close by. I want someone who is fun to be with. And most importantly, of course, my hair looking good is important, but really important is I want to feel appreciated. I want to feel accommodated. I want to feel like they want my business, right? Like not that they're too busy for me. I mean, people get busy. I get it, but I don't want to feel like I'm working with someone who's too busy for me or that I'm an inconvenience or, when I screw things up, it's like I'm out of luck. So I look and I find this guy and I look him up and he seems really great, but his prices are like, whoa. So I'm like, all right, that's clarity. Like, I don't want to pay that much. There's a certain level that I'm comfortable with that I like to spend, and he's not right. So then I go on the Facebook page, my residence page, and I Google and I find this girl and she messages me and she's just like messaging me her pricing, not what she can do for me, not that she can help me with my issue, which is like being brassy. And I'm like not feeling it from her. And her prices were a little more than I like to spend. So I'm like, all right. So I go back to the drawing board. So I'm talking to my husband about it yesterday. And he tells me about this salon that he did some work at. And I look it up and there's no pricing on their website. And it's in Newport. So I'm like, oh, all right, well, it might be too expensive. So I just kind of let it go. And then I get inspired to look on my Facebook page again. I'm looking at the residence group, like nobody comments. I'm like, whatever. So I find this one girl who had commented a long time ago about this guy, James. And I look up James and lo and behold, unbelievable. He works at the salon that my husband had mentioned. I'm like, what? That's cool. So I emailed James this morning. And I'm waiting for the message to come back. And he messages me right when my friend James messages me, like at the same time they message me. So that feels like confirmation, right? So I'm like, okay, all right. And I like what this guy has to say. Like he's telling me how he can help me. His prices are perfect. He can fit me on Wednesday night. Flow of energy. That's what it is. The energy is flowing towards it. So then that's not even the best part. The best part is my husband sends me a message and he had messaged the owner to let her know that I was coming in. And this is what the owner says. Oh my God, exclamation point 5 times. So awesome, more exclamation points. James is right behind me. Please ask her to have him introduce us. Thank you so much for being so supportive. Appreciation, hello, just feels so good. I'm like, now I feel it's like the whatever it is, trifecta. I mean, there was like 5 or 6 different things that I wanted and it totally aligned. So now I'm excited. I'm excited to try someone new. I'm excited to do something different. I'm excited to up level in that life, in my area of life with my hair. I mean, simple things, people, but things that, really conduct the joy in our life, just ease and flow, ease and flow with my hair situation, being able to get an appointment, being able to meet with somebody who wants my business. All of that stuff just aligned for me in such a beautiful way. And then to have two James message me at the same time. It's just confirmation. If you're watching the universe, if you are watching this energy, you will see. It will tell you where to go. It will tell you when things are shutting down. It will tell you when things are opening up. You will feel it if you're paying attention, if you're being aware and awake and you're not in desperate energy. I was not in desperate energy, but I'll be honest with you. A few times I was like, okay, okay, universe, what are we doing here? I'm flapping in the breeze here with these roots. What are we doing? So watch the energy. It will tell you what to do. And then the other part of that is, when things are happening in your life and you're getting these signs, don't wait until you're being hit over the head. Take your cues from the universe that it's time to move forward, that it's time to move on. We finish relationships with people. We get what we need from them at the time. And then oftentimes we up level, our vibrations are in a different place. So if we want to feel different energy, if we want to feel more loved, if we want to feel more supported, all we have to do is ask. And it is given every time. How you keep yourself apart from it is when you tell yourself you can't have it, when you feel misery over it not being there. Changing hairdressers is a stress for me. That's a wound for me. Like, I've had some issues in that department. I've had my hair messed up. So there's some wounds there that I needed to heal. And I really feel like this past hairdresser that I had, I feel like I definitely healed that with her. And now it's just taking that with me to somebody else. That's all. No, nothing personal. We don't have to get personal with people and I didn't feel disrespected by her. I didn't feel like, oh, I'm done with her because she doesn't have time for me. No, it was just like, what's right for me in this moment? What feels good to me? Well, I definitely got to get my hair done. I'm definitely not waiting until next month. So if this guy isn't a great fit, then I'm just going to stay with what I had because it was fine. But if he is, then I took the up level. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to do a little energy release with you guys just to help you get out of your procrastination and step into self-discipline. All right, so I'm going to invite you all to take a nice deep breath with me. Close your eyes. Make sure your back is straight. And breathe out. And breathe in. And breathe out. One more time. And in this moment here together, we call in all these beautiful divine energies, all of the orchestration of the universe to allow all these beings to release any low vibrational energy that no longer serves. So we take that lower vibrational generational energy, we take all of that connection to victimhood, powerlessness, unworthiness, and we ask that it fully releases from your entire field now. We release all energies of procrastination, all blocks to our creativity, all energies of unworthiness, low self-esteem, low self-confidence. We release energies of confusion. We release energy blocks to our intuition, energy blocks to our spiritual wisdom. We release all energies of distrust of self, distrust of the universe, all energies of lack, lower fields of lackful energy around abundance, lackful energies around our passions, all energies that are slow, low, and dense that cause us to feel lethargy, that cause us to feel less than. All energies of not being good enough. Just release all of that energy from your entire quantum field. You can feel the energy getting lighter. You are releasing all the heaviness, all of the emotional connection, releasing all energies of addiction, addiction to substances, addiction to lower frequency activities, and connection to any generational addictions. Releasing all energies to low emotions, unforgiveness of self, releasing all energies of self-criticalness, self-hatred, releasing all energies of unworthiness, unlovableness, releasing all energies of victimhood. Woo! Release that victimhood. You do not need that any longer. Releasing any blockages to our self-discipline, beliefs that you are undisciplined, beliefs that you are powerless, beliefs that you are unworthy. Yeah, just release it all. Let it all go. Breathe it out. Release all fears, all false evidence appearing real, fear of judgment, fear of being seen. Release energies of fear of success. Release energies of fear of failure. Release all energies of false evidence appearing real. And just release any connection you have to not living your life's path. So any connection you have to this lower density that causes you to procrastinate and keeps you out of your power. Yes. Just take a deep breath and let all of that release. Standing in this new place and power to create, we infuse you with the light of divine energy. Allow all that beautiful light to come down into your neural pathways, making a clean sweep, allowing you to be clearer, allowing you to be in full clarity about your life's work, your life's passion, your life's mission, activating the energy of newness, of being a powerful creator, setting strong intentions and strong decision around your self-discipline to create, to become the powerful creator that you are. We are waking that up within each one of us, taking our power back, deciding that we are creators, allowing this energy to completely sweep our entire field so it comes down within your body, ignites your heart in the expression of love and joy, allowing you to truly feel your power, activating the wisdom of infinite intelligence, helping you to know, to create, to become, to stand in this new identity. So for just a moment, I want you to see yourself in your new identity, creating, becoming, allowing, trusting, being excited, and knowing that as you set these intentions, as you create from this determination, as you decide in this moment with me, that it is already done. It's just a matter of watching the energy of moving forward, of activating where you can, and deciding that it is so. Just take a couple of deep breaths and let this beautiful energy align with your spirit. Activate every one of your cells and help you to be in your power forevermore. I have to say that release was probably better than the last one, so you're welcome. So much for rehearsals. I'm excited. I've got a new group that's launching on September 1st, so please connect with me on that. It's going to be epic. If you're a little fearful about a transformation call, I will tell you that I hold you and love you and support you through it. And it's truly what I've seen on these calls. It's just, it's so wonderful to do this with people. It's so fantastic. Look out for my Keys to the Kingdom meditation, the guided meditation thing. I'm going to be launching that within the next couple of days. That's an hour-long teaching. It will help you to take your meditation practice deeper, or it will help you to really connect with the meditation practice and become a committed meditator, which is where all of your power lies. Lastly, I'm super excited. I'm actually meeting with a couple today. Oh, it's 3:33. How cool is that? And I'm going to be marrying them. I'm going to be officiating in their wedding. So I am super blessed. It's definitely out of my comfort zone. I got ordained last year, like online. I was supposed to marry someone else and it never worked out. And just recently kind of let it go, like it wasn't going to happen. And then I got a message that this beautiful family that we know, they were looking for someone for next weekend, and I just happened to be available, so that's flow. And I wrote some vows for them, and I'm really excited to just be in the flow of love and to like sprinkle what I have experienced in my marriage over this beautiful couple, and just to be a part of such a special bond. Like, oh my gosh, it just feels amazing. So out of my comfort zone, yes, but there was no hesitation. When I think about it, I get a little energy, and I always call that energy excitement, because remember, excitement and anxiety are the same energy. It's just the filter we throw them through. So I know this is an up level for me. I know it's going to be amazing, and I'm just really excited to be a part of that. So lots of stuff being called in, because I'm in the activation of energy like every day, like What can I do? What can I create more of? Like, it's pretty intense, but it's a very fulfilling experience. And I invite you all to come with me. I really do. I want to lock arms with you. I want to help you heal. I just want everyone to feel what I feel. And I want everyone to experience life at this level. So come up level with me. I love you all. Peace out.